Let's bring you the very latest pictures we've received from Moscow in the past few hours. And they are of President Putin. And what we can see here is Vladimir Putin holding a bouquet of flowers, and he is paying his respects at the Moscow hospital, where you can see Mikhail Gorbachev there in a casket. He died on Tuesday, aged 91. A very solemn moment. And we have also heard, confirmed, that President Putin will not attend Saturday's funeral of Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of the Soviet Union. There'd been much speculation about whether the Russian leader would, in fact, attend. We are hearing he will not. So let's take you live to Moscow. We can join our Russia editor, Steve Rosenberg, who is there. There had been lots of speculation, Steve. We now have it confirmed. President Putin will not attend the funeral. What do you think the reasons are behind that decision?
Well, if you believe the Kremlin, it's simply because Vladimir Putin is a very busy man. Basically, the message from the Kremlin is, sorry, Putin is busy, his work schedule is full, he can't attend the funeral. And as you say, Lucy, he has been today to pay his respects to Mikhail Gorbachev. He went to the hospital, lay flowers at the casket. But despite that, I think the fact that he won't be attending the funeral will be seen by many here as a snub. I thought it was quite interesting yesterday when Vladimir Putin sent a telegram of condolences to the Mikhail Gorbachev's family. It mentioned that Mr. Gorbachev had had a huge impact on the course of world history, but that was it, really. And later, when the Russian president appeared on television, he was chairing a meeting of the government, no mention of the death of Mikhail Gorbachev, no minute's silence. So what can we conclude from all of this? What conclusion? It seems to me that Vladimir Putin's Kremlin has little desire to be associated with the ideas and the policies that Mikhail Gorbachev espoused. Both Putin and Gorbachev are leaders who changed their countries, but in very different ways, right? Gorbachev by opening up the country, by giving freedoms to people, by talking about democratization of the Soviet Union. Vladimir Putin by closing down the country, by cracking down on freedoms, cracking down on democratic institutions. And the other thing I'd say is I think that when Vladimir Putin looks at Mikhail Gorbachev, he sees a leader who, in Putin's eyes, was weak, who let reforms spin out of control and let a superpower, the Soviet Union, slip away. And I suspect that, well, certainly from what pro-Kremlin commentators have been saying on state television in recent years, I suspect that Putin looks at Gorbachev and thinks this is not the way to run a country.
And Steve, do we know what Mikhail Gorbachev thought of the invasion of Ukraine?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. In recent years, Mikhail Gorbachev has not made too many public statements. He's been in poor health, right, for the last couple of years. But there were some suggestions that he was shocked by what had happened this year, by the Russian invasion. Interestingly, if you go back to 2014 and the Russian annexation of Crimea from Ukraine, that is something that Mr. Gorbachev actually supported. His relationship with Putin is quite interesting, because if you go back 20 years or so, just after Putin came to power, their relationship was pretty cordial. But I think as Mikhail Gorbachev saw that Vladimir Putin was taking Russia down a very different path from the one Gorbachev set out on, that relationship soured. And there were some public criticisms made by Gorbachev a decade ago, not specifically about Putin, but about people who are around Vladimir Putin. But as I say, more recently, fewer public comments by Mikhail Gorbachev, who was in poor health for some time.
And Steve, very briefly, do we have any more details about what will actually happen on Saturday? I mean, will it be a state funeral?
We still haven't had that confirmed. The Kremlin says there'll be elements of a state funeral. The casket will lie in the House of Unions, in the Column Hall. That's not far from Red Square. That will be open to the public, and then Mikhail Gorbachev's coffin will be taken, driven to Novosibirsk Cemetery, where he'll be buried next to his late wife, Raisa.
Steve, thanks for joining us from Moscow. Our Russia editor there, Steve Rosenberg.